Hey guys, today we're gonna be making that Culling Games video. Every battle ranking explained. We got 13 battles to go over. I think the Culling Games was really hated when it first came out. People were saying that they were just fights, but they were really cool fights. We got to explore a lot of things, see old characters, see old faces, see new faces, and eventually set up the fight against Sukuna. So overall, I think it's a pretty good arc. So today we're gonna be ranking and explaining every fight, of course, according to my opinion. So sit back, relax. If you like the video, subscribe and like. So let's begin. So first battle is Yuji versus Hanyu and Haba, and I gotta be honest, this is a pretty mediocre fight. It's supposed to be the first fight and introduce us to the Culling Games, and having people spawn camping, I think it's a pretty cool idea, but Hanyu and Haba end up being mediocre at best. Their designs, Haba I think has a cool design, but Hanyu it's like discount Yuki, as I like to call her. Their strategies aren't all there, the fight isn't all there, and all it ends up being pretty mediocre to an okay, which to the first fight isn't we really don't expect a lot, but could be a lot better. Also, this fight did not end up contributing too much in the grand scheme of things, so it could be better. Yes, not wanting to get controversial, but the next fight is Meguna versus Yorozu. Yes, it's the bottom actually. The reason I say this because I'll be honest, I don't like Meguna very much. I don't think Sukuna should have ever gone to Megumi's body. I think the 10 Shadows isn't the ideal technique for him, but I digress. The thing is, despite Yorozu being a pretty cool character, we have no connection to her. We have no connection to Sumiki. And it all ends up being just a bland fight. Like, we know Sukuna is gonna win. We know he isn't all there in the fight. He's not in actual danger. So it happens is we're just waiting for Yorozu to die, and we have no connection to her, so it ends up feeling a pretty bland battle with a predictable outcome. Yorozu is cool, but she's not fit to be this character to fight Sukuna. If the battle has been set up earlier, I think it will be really cool. It was cool seeing the round deer and the piercing ox, but I don't know, this battle just feels bland in my opinion. Getting controversial again, I said I didn't like Meguna. It's Yuji and Maki versus Meguna. Hear me out. I know this is gonna sound weird, but Maki's inclusion feels like fan service. It feels like it shouldn't have been there. She ends up contributing nothing to the Sukuna Yuji relationship, and she has no reason to be there. You might as well have put Takaba there. And also, she doesn't end up contributing nothing. I think the battle should have been about Uraume. We don't know nothing about her at this point. We still don't know nothing about her at this point. And it could be a really good chance to, villainize her. To have Yuji almost beat Sukuna because Megumi is making him weak, and then Uraume shows up, kicks Yuji out of the way, and just roasts him, making us hate Uraume. I think that's how the battle should have gone, but what we got, I think at the time it was pretty cool. I remember it being pretty hype, but now looking at it, we have no reason for Maki to be there. I kind of think she kind of makes the battle feel bloated. Like, it should have been Yuji versus Sukuna or Yuji versus Uraume, but the battle as it is right now, I think it's pretty bland. It was cool seeing Sukuna having to improvise, but not actually really. He had everything in a bag for most of the time. So yeah, I think this is one of the weaker outings of the Culling Games. It could have been a lot better. Now, next up, I think we've passed the bad to mediocre fights, and now we're in the okay fights. It's a Hakari versus Charles. The thing is, Charles is a he's okay. Like he's not the best written character and all, but he's okay. And Hakari is like this fight is like built to set up Hakari versus Kashimo and set up Hakari as one of the most powerful students in their gojo. And I think he does this pretty well. Like Hakari he wasn't trying during most of the fight, but then he actually tries. He uses his domain, which is like hype, and the battle ends up, and we still don't know what his jackpot does, which I think is pretty cool. And I don't have too much to say about this fight. Like it was cool seeing Hakari fight. Charles is okay. I think this battle is okay most overall, and it hypes up Hakari, so bonus points for that. Now I have another one. Is a Yuta versus Kororushi. Yes, I'm taking Kororushi out of Sendai. I think it was Sendai, but Yuta versus Kororushi is a pretty interesting battle. Like Yuta is having to fight in a pretty, you know, he's nerfed during most of the time. He can't use his RCT, he can use Rika, and he's finding this weird thing that can kill him in one slash. And while doing all that, he's being watched by Uro and Ryu, which gives this battle a very high tension. Like you know Yuta can win at any time, but winning in the wrong way will make him open up. So this battle is really tense. I don't think we have much of this tension during rest of the Culling games or even JJK in general, but it was a cool fight. It was cool seeing Yuta effortlessly kiss a cockroach. Yeah, it's an okay fight overall. Next up in our list of okay fights is Kashimo versus Panda. I think this fight is it's like Hakari versus Charles. It only exists to hype up Kashimo and villainize him, making us want to get him beat up by Hakari, essentially. But I think what this battle does best is having Panda. And Panda, his almost death really makes you hate Kashimo at that time, you know. And his flashback, it's pretty sad, all things considered. I really thought he was going to die by this no-named villain. So when Hakari shows up and punches him in the face, I was like, hype. This battle doesn't exist to do nothing much outside of setting up Kashimo versus Hakari.